goodness, people. How are you? Thank you to, oh, I had his name. Just a second, I got a new subscriber and I got notified about it. Mr. David Cosby. Thank you very much for subscribing to the Dirty Pat Walsh channel. Hope you can stick around and enjoy the ride. So we're gonna have a dip. I'm trying to make a decision here. We're gonna do Kayak, great. Kayak's such horrible dip, but I don't think I've met a dipper who has said, but you gotta love the grape. Because you do, it's pretty wicked. There's only one other grape dip on the market, and I've never tried it, by Seneca. Cheers. But yeah, somehow on the, Kayak Dip, this fucking tastes so sketchy, man. Like the peach, it tastes like a dirty rag that, if you were maybe making peach muffins or something, and you wiped up the counter and with a rag and you didn't wash it, and then you shredded it up with tobacco. That's kind of what their peach tastes like. And the apple, when I first tried the apple, I kind of liked it because it doesn't taste like apple at all. It tastes like fucking bubble gum, and I love bubble gum. But there's always a sketchy feel with Kayak Dip. It always has you maybe feel like it's been soaked in grain alcohol or something. I don't know. But you gotta love the grape. Yes. So the pratfall effect has been canceled until spring, if at all. Who knows? The choreographer, director, writer guy just shit the bed completely. And even with a 2-week extension, he still couldn't get his shit together to do the show. And he informed me today, and I'm pretty upset about it because I personally put some time and energy into that show that I didn't necessarily have to do. And I just feel taken for granted for it. But I let him know that, I'm not one to start a big fiery argument, but I'm also not one to roll over and be punked off. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what'll happen the next time we see him, or I see him, or whatever, but who knows? Who knows? So yeah, I wish I was able to show you the video from that show that I was going to shoot for you, but I can't now, so sorry about that. Maybe I'll make a video collage of some of the music I was putting together for it, because I did actually write a bunch of concepts for the show, and a bunch of little tunes, so just to see if they, would fit. But anyhow, so I'm wearing my Lou Reed shirt today. I love Lou Reed. I've always been a Lou Reed fan. He's probably the first musician I ever really got into. I have an almost complete vinyl collection of his albums. The only album I'm missing is I'm missing 2 albums. One's his first solo record, which is actually my favorite one. And his album Growing Up in Public, that was released in the 80s. And it's pretty good. But Lou Reed's the very first concert I went to. The very first big rock concert I ever went to. I was 14. It was 1984. And, I'd seen like punk rock shows and stuff like that, but never been to a big concert before. And Lou Reed was playing at Canada's Wonderland for the Mistrial tour, which is actually my least favorite album by Lou Reed, but I went to the tour. The show was great. Band was fire, and the B-52s opened. So, and that was all at Canada's Wonderland. I don't know if, what's the name of the theater? There was a name for the theater, I don't know. But, yeah, Canada's Wonderland. I don't know if anybody knows about that, or even if it's around anymore. It's a theme park here near Toronto. And we used to have concerts there, and like good concerts. The Kingswood Theater, that's what it's called. So I saw Lou Reed and the B-52s in 1984 at the Kingswood Music Theater. It was my very first concert. I went with my 2 older stepbrothers at the time. Lyndon, who was 16, and what the fuck was his name? Evan, who was 18 at the time. And, we're sitting in our seats waiting for the B-52s to play. I'm stoked as hell. I'm totally stoked. I'm gonna see Lou Reed's like if I had to pick a pop music hero, he'd be my pop music hero, Anyway, my stepbrother Evan, he's sitting there eating a bag of Twizzlers, all right? And those cherry red Twizzlers. And Buddy in front leans around, and he's got a big fat smoke, and he's like, "Hey man, I'll trade you this for a piece of that licorice." And my stepbrother didn't know what it was. And he's like, "What is that?" And I was like, I snaked out a piece of licorice and I gave it to him, and I took the joint. And I smoked it, and much to my stepbrother's chagrin. Because I knew what it was. Yeah, great concert. And I'm so proud to say my first concert was Lou Reed and B-52s. Anyhow, back in 2003, I had a opportunity to see him play again at the Hummingbird Center in Toronto. I had a ticket and everything. I was so excited about it. And me and my friend Bucky were going. And but it turns out the Diplomats had a show that night. And my motto was never go to see one when you can be one. You know what I mean? And this was going to be a huge Diplomat show. It was like the end of school concert for the high school kids, and there was going to be like 400 kids there. So I didn't want to bail on that, and I'm glad I didn't. I remember that show. It was one of the best shows I've ever played. It was so much fun. But yeah, and anyway, so I sold my ticket to my friend Kelly, the accordion player from the Silver Hearts, and she went and saw him. Supposedly it was a pretty weird concert. He did a lot of Tai Chi. But anyhow, that was the last chance I would have had to see Lou Reed because he died not so long after that. But no regrets. I'm glad I stayed home and played my gig. And my friend Bucky was thoughtful enough to buy me this T-shirt, which is like, this is like the iconic photograph off of the Transformer album, which is probably Lou Reed's biggest solo album, and or at least his most iconic one. It's a great picture, kind of redone. It says Mick Rock. It was a photo taken by Mick Rock in 1972, but refurbished somehow for 2003. It doesn't say Lou Reed on it. It doesn't have like tour concert dates or nothing on the back. That's the kind of shirt I like. Just a cool picture, you know. But anyhow, that's my little story for the day. I guess I could file this under being a punk rock kid in the 80s. Maybe I'll do that because I certainly was a punk rock kid in the 80s back then. 1984. Yeah, good times. Anyhow, I hope you're all doing good and well. Cultivate love, people, and be well.